Reminder before we go live.
Well, we're going live. It's setting up the meeting now.
Okay.
Do not be concerned. Everything is going to be okay. Switching my camera. Is that you?
What's that?
Okay. Let's do
What?
this. Let's learn.
Oh yeah, let's do it. By the way,
260.
I don't see your video. I just see your icon. We're doing cameras.
Oh gosh. There we go. All right. Okay. Oh,
Can you hear me?
no. Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Okay. Let's do it.
Okay, I don't know why my camera turned off. Whatever. Okay, so 260. בחמישה עשר יום, רבי יהודה פתח, וישמע כנעני מלך ערד, תננה, שלושה מתנן עילאין הזדמנו לישראל על ידי צלת האחים, משה אהרון ומירם, מן בזכות משה, נני כבוד בזכות אהרון, באר בזכות מירם, כולהו אחידן לעילה. מן בזכות משה דכתיב, הנה מתיר לכם לחם מן השמיים, תם משה. Wow, I love that stuff. ענני הכבוד בזכות
15.
אהרון, דכתיב אשר עין בעין נראה אתה השם, וכתיב וכיסה ענן הקטורת, מה להלן שבעה, וכאן משבעה, להביא בקטורת שבעה עננים, מתקשר ככה, ביערות ריש על ראש שבעה עננים, וכאשר לשית הקרנים בכל יומם. All right.
50th day. 15th day. I'm sorry. Rabbi Yehuda opened the discussion with the verse. And when the Canaanites, the king of Arad, we learned that these three celestial gifts were given to Israel by the three siblings, Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. The manna through Moses, the cloud of glory through Aaron, and the well through Miriam. They're all attached above. The manna is by the merit of Moses, as it is written, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. From heaven refers to Moses, namely the chariot to Zeranpin called Moses, and also called heaven.
Yeah.
The clouds of glory by the merit of Aaron, the chariot to Chesed, as it was written, you that are Hesed are seen face to you, Hashem, are seen face to face. The cloud of incense may cover, as on the other, and as on the other verse, in relation to incense, there's seven clouds. So in the former, and your cloud stands over them. There are also seven clouds. There are seven clouds of incense joined together, excuse me. And Aaron is the uppermost of the seven clouds. For seven clouds are the secret of Hesed, read the Malhut. Aaron, who is the chariot to Hesed, is the first Sphira, and he is daily connected to the six other clouds. The clouds are therefore considered to come by the merit of Aaron, as he is the aspect of Hesed, the top cloud, which includes all of them. Okay.
So what's going on here is we are dividing. We're saying that the three siblings of Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam are connected with three different types of sphirot. So we're going to see in just a second that Miriam is connected with Malchut, as wells are almost always associated with Malchut. And what this there's two ways of doing it. What the Sulam is saying is Moshe is connected with Zer Anpin, and Aaron is connected with Chesed, and then Miriam is going to be connected with Malchut, which is should be no surprise. The only problem with this approach is that well, there's two problems. I mean, things that we should be aware of. Number one is that Zer Anpin normally includes Tiferet. And so when we say Moshe includes all seven, and he's the first one, which is Chesed, but really he's including Tiferet. then the problem is that this framework is not misi. It's not mutually exclusive because there's overlap. The other interesting thing is that normally Moshe and Aaron parallel Netzach and Hod, and um, and and here they are not paralleling Netzach Hod. I would like to suggest that here Shemaim often means Tiferet and often refers to Zer Anpin. But here, because we're saying that Aaron is connected with Zer Anpin, I would like to suggest that Moshe is actually representing Bina here. And Aaron is connected with Zer Anpin, and Miriam is connected with Malchut. And basically, the idea is that all the gifts we get from Hashem come from the various sefirot and the various forces that are around us. And there's intellectual gifts, which is represented by the man, which is as if given from Moshe. Moshe teaches us Torah, and so Moshe is giving us the man. And then there's other gifts that are out of rachamim, just kindness, just the fact that the world is a beautiful place. And that parallels Zer Anpin, and that's the gift of Aaron. It's a gift that Hashem gives us through chasadim. And the third way that Hashem gives us gifts is through our own actions, which is Malchut. Malchut is all about our own actions, and like the waters rising up, and that is connected with Miriam. That's my theory. What do you think?
Can we break it down a little bit? So, I mean, he says explicitly that Moses is the chariot to Zeranpin. He doesn't yet. So in Aaron, he's saying Aaron is in a way. Who was the older brother, by the way? Aaron or Moses? Aaron was older, I
Aaron.
think, right?
Yeah. Aaron.
Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
saying Hesed, a chariot to Hesed, because Hesed is before. Looking top down, Hesed is before Zer to Ferris. And then what does he do with Miriam here?
Well, let's read Miriam. It's not really fair
Okay.
to have a
All right,
whole.
let's say.
Be'er b'zchut Miriam. Hi yifade be'er yitzkarei. ובספרת אגדת ותתצב אחותו מרחוק לדעה, דהו באר מים חיים. וכל הקישור האחד, מת מרים יסלק באר. דכתיב לא היה שם מים לידה, ובהי שעתה בעת באר אחר להסתלקה. דהבה שכיח עמהון לישראל, חמד שיטה ענני דהבו קישורין עלה, התקשרת היא אהוד.
The well comes by Miriam, the merit of Miriam, who's a chariot to Malhut. Okay, so she's a chariot to Malhut since she is surely called a well. In the book of the Agadata, we learn, and his sister stood off too afar. This is a well of a living water, namely Malhut, and it was all bound into one since Miriam was connected to Malhut. Miriam died, the well was gone, as it is written, there's no water for the congregation. That time another well wished to depart Malhut that was with Yisrael, but when it saw the 6 clouds, Hesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, and Hod that were connected to it, the cloud of Malhut for her own aspect, Malhut became connected with them. Okay. I mean, again, this doesn't bother me so much to say that Miriam is Malchut. I mean, you don't usually hear that, but Moshe is there, which I guess I've heard that. And then Aaron is Hesed. Um, I don't know. What
Yeah,
was
we've
your
heard that
theory?
before, where Kohanim are
Yeah,
normally described as
sure.
chesed and the way I think about Kohanim is that they're the bridge between the mind and the emotions. That they're not the source of the wisdom, but they bring it down for everybody to understand. And this is represented by the idea of the oil going down the beard of Aaron. And what what I'm thinking that I'd like to do is take these three siblings and the different characteristics that they have, the different stories that we have about them, and suggest that these stories are connected to some sort of abstract way of serving Hashem and being productive, and that those abstract concepts also are different ways that Hashem gives gifts and takes care of the world. And if we can get alignment between the actual stories we know about Miriam and Aaron, the nature of these three things, and the regular framework of the spirit that we all know, then everything is going to work out. So that's what I'd like to do. So Miriam seems is Malchut, and that is very appropriate. It says Vatetatzav achoto mirachok l'deah. So this word Vatetatzav, to stand up, is always associated with Yesod, not Malchut. But it's not really a problem. But we see this in other places. I'm sorry? Vatetatzav, it's associated with Yesod. Yeah. Okay. The shorish there is Nun Tzadi Bet. Highlighted. As if anybody's going to see this video. Okay, so we see these. We see this word a few times. So another really prominent place we see this is with the ladder of Yaakov. That basically the ladder of Jacob was set up on the ground, and the ladder represents Yesod. Yesod is like the spine; it connects the lower to the upper, to the mind, and like Hashem in the upper heavens, or like the mind of the universe, the ladder connects the world to Hashem. We also see it in the dream of Yosef. And basically the sheath of wheat that Yosef, that's connected with Yosef, sort of stands up, and then all the other sheaths of wheat bow to it. And Yosef is connected with Yesod. And Yesod is connected with the Shechina. So there's this interesting relationship between the Shechina and Yesod and Malchut. It's a little ambiguous which one is connected with the Shechina, Yesod or Malchut. And there's this Zohar in Vayakel that talks about how the light of the moon is the Shechina, not the moon itself, but the light of the moon. And there's this idea that the Shechina is the providence of Hashem that exists in Malchut. It's embedded in us. And so the idea that that Miriam represents the Shechina is basically the Yesod that's embedded in us. They basically, the providence of Hashem, the connection with Hashem that is embedded inside us and not coming externally from other places, coming from within us. That's what Miriam is. And so that is appropriately expressed as a well, because the waters basically come from the bottom up. And it also is very appropriate given Miriam's role, that in the Midrash, she's the one that encourages her parents to continue having children, and they have Moshe, who's the youngest. And essentially what Miriam is practically doing is in assuring the survival of the future. She's the one that encourages her parents. She's the one that watches after Moshe in this story here. And she's the one that, according to the Midrash, takes care of the baby. She's one of the midwives that lets the babies live. And this all has to do with reproduction and the future. And that's what providence is all about. So Miriam works out very well. Miriam's working out. When we get to Moshe and Aaron, if we want to do the same thing with Moshe we know very well. So Moshe, here we're highlighting that the Torah comes through Moshe. So whether it's Tiferet or Bina, we're highlighting the fact that the Torah comes through Moshe, and Moshe is associated with Sinai. And I would say, okay, well, the Torah itself is a huge gift from Hashem, the intellectual knowledge that we have from Hashem. And that's that here. What the Zohar is saying is that that's being represented by the man, which isn't a coincidence because there's a lot of times that we say that the man wasn't physical food; it was the food of angels, which is essentially Torah,
Mhm.
right? So we could say Tiferet. I just like Bina because that means that there's no overlap between him and Aharon, but it is sort of standard that Moshe is associated with Tiferet.
Well,
That's a
oh, because you're saying that, wait, Zerampin doesn't, no, because Hesed Gevurah Teferet, they're not part of, I mean, Hesed Gevurah are not part of Zerampin.
yeah, they are. Zerampin includes
Isn't it usually, no, if you look at the diagram, hang on, let's pull up the diagram.
uh, well, let's see. Okay.
Zerampin is like the, here, if you want to, yeah, pull that up. 10 Sphirot, no, just do 10, search for 10 Sphirot. Search for 10 Sphirot diagram. Take out the zero. Yeah, you could use one of those.
Okay, so
The
what do we have
zero,
here?
well, yeah, I mean, the zero, actually use the one below it from Sfaria. So that's a little cleaner. Yeah, so even you can use that one. So see the zero pin, I think is so the zero pin is just the
Here we go, Wikipedia.
so it's it's the one when there's four. When there's only four, they group
Yeah,
you have
right.
Keter, um
When there's only
Hakma,
four, you leave out Keter and you group Chachma Bina. Chachma is one, Bina
Barrett,
is two,
Malhut.
then the next six are three, and then Malchut is
Right,
four.
but so that's what oh, so you're saying instead. So Hasad in that case would be included.
Yeah.
Hesed Gevura, Netzach Code Yesod would be all part of Tiferet. I see. So it's Hakma Bina Tiferet Malhut. Okay, let the Yud K Love K.
Yeah, right. So four has big significance, seven has big significance.
Why are you thinking that Moshe is Bina and that Aaron would? Because you think it because
I
but
just don't like them
wouldn't
to
we think
overlap.
expect Aaron? I see what you're
I
saying.
and
And
the
it's
thing is that if
interesting. Mhm.
we
Go
could
ahead.
say that Moshe is Tiferet, Aaron is Chesed, but then the triplet that completes that framework would be Gevura. And we'd have to say Miriam means Gevura there, which isn't the
Right.
end of the world because her name literally means Mar. It means bitter. But we don't see that in the text of the Zohar. It doesn't seem to be emphasizing that aspect of Miriam.
But how are you getting that Aaron is? How would you connect that Moshe would be Bina? I mean, how would you make that connection?
Um, well, sometimes we refer to Bina as Shemaim.
Mhm.
A lot of times it's Tiferet. But basically,
How does
there's
that
two
connect
layers
to?
of Shemaim. There's two layers of Shemaim. One is associated with Zer Ampin, and one is associated with above it. You basically have seven layers of heaven associated with the planets, and that's basically Zer Ampin, as it were. And then you
Hmm.
have another layer of heaven that is above the observable universe, and that is, that's Olam Abriya. That's the higher level of heavens, the separate intelligences that are associated with the Torah and the throne of glory and everything like that. And that is, that's where the Torah comes from. So Moshe is connected with that world. So so that's my guess. Um, I mean, just
We're saying
basically only
there's two heavens, but okay, but this particular Zohar is not really bringing that down. But we did just read that like there
if I
are sort
only
of.
had the description of Moshe here and nothing
Mhm.
else, I would consider the Tiferet angle because it just says Shemaim. Shemaim can mean Tiferet.
Mhm.
Um, but once we talk about Aharon, and we're not emphasizing the Chesed aspect of it, like we do mention it but but we mention it in the sense that we know that Chesed is where the seven start. It's the first day of creation, and so everything is included with it. But we're emphasizing also that everything is included with it. We're not highlighting Aaron as representing Chesed alone. We're saying Aaron represents everything all connected and tied up together.
The one thing that I'm thinking about that's how do we make it fit is if let's say Moshe is Bina and Aaron is Hesed, how would we and maybe this is what you're saying, how do we where does Miriam fit? Where does
Malchut.
Miriam fit? Yeah, but then it's but for how do you get a Bina to Hesed? Where's their pin?
Oh,
Yeah, you still
Zeranpin
need
is
something for
everything
Zim.
between Bina and Malchut is Zeranpin.
No, I get that, but I'm saying what represents that case if we're dealing with these three, you know.
Well, I mean, it's the together Bina is Zeranpin and Malchut parallel the three levels of the world. It's divided into three, so it's a nice framework. You
Um,
have
no, but
essentially you
if
have like the lower world, the upper world, and then the thing that connects them.
yeah, no, but we're saying if you're going to say that the Moshe is Bina there and it's Hesed and Miriam is Malkut, we still haven't solved for Zerampin.
Oh, I think that we know that Aaron is, I think the reason why we bring up Chesed here is because we already know that Aaron and Kohanim are connected with Chesed. And here we don't really want to emphasize the Chesed aspect. We want to emphasize the Ananei HaKovod aspect, and that includes much more than just Chesed. It includes all aspects of Zer Anpin. Because according to Midrash, it wasn't just one cloud, it was 6 or 7. Here it says 7. So 7 clouds, basically in all directions. And um, so to me, that's saying that we're emphasizing the aspect of Zer Anpin. I mean, there is a problem because if Zer Anpin is including 7, then that includes Malchut as well, and then you have overlap with Miriam also.
Hmm. Okay. Fine. Let's move on. I mean that's probably the reason why he's keeping it like this and the Sulam is using those and he's not saying Moshe is their opinion in this case. Yeah. The
Wait,
lower heavens, I
Moshe's
guess, if you
Tiferet.
will. Tiferet is synonymous for Zerampin.
Right. I mean, that's why I'm struggling a little bit with that.
No, what I'm saying, how else if you only have three? I'm not like you
Yeah.
only have three that we're trying to connect here. Moshe, Miriam.
Yeah.
How do you connect them? And this seems like a good way to connect them. Hesed, which is saying is, and then Zerampin is the 6, and then Malchut is the 7. I mean, you could ask other questions on that, but I'd have a big shaila if you start going to say that Aaron is uh Hesed, Moshe is Bina, and then Miriam's down in Malhut. There's where's Aaron Pin again?
Yeah, I think
That's what
we
I would
agree on
ask.
that. I think we agree on
Okay,
that. I think
so that's what
we
I'm
agree
saying.
that
Like this, so
Aaron's connected with
right.
the Zerampin. The only question is, does he overlap with Moshe or not?
Aaron's
So,
connected with Hesed. Oh, you're saying that Hesed. I see what you're saying. Does he overlap with Moshe? Yeah, yeah. Right. I mean, he wasn't like out there.
and by the
I
way,
mean, he was.
there's generally, I don't want to say ambiguity, but there's some variance. Sometimes we will refer to the Torah as connected with Tiferet, and sometimes we refer it as connected with Bina. We also see this expressed in the Tefillin Shalosh, where sometimes we say the Tefillin Shiad is Malchut, the Tefillin Shalosh is Tiferet or Zeranpin, and then we say L'Shem Yichud Kushabrichu Shchinte, the Zeranpin and the Shechina. And sometimes we say no. There's two houses, there's two batim, of the world. There's the lower world and the upper world. That's Malchut and Bina, and that's it. And that's what the tefillin represent. So we have similar things with describing nevuah, where there's two levels of nevuah. One, classically is associated with malchut. That's like the lower level of nevuah that all the neviim have, and then there's a higher level of nevuah that you could say is associated with tiferet, which is associated with Moshe. But with that, also, I like to say that I'd rather say that it's either bina or whatever. It's a little detailed there, but I guess it's something we can just keep in mind, that there's some ambiguity regarding where the Torah is, and I think that the ambiguity stems from the fact that you have the Torah that's as if up in heaven, and then you have something that needs to bring the Torah to you, and that's Zer Anpin. And because you receive the Torah through Zer Anpin, you could associate the Torah either with Zer Anpin or the thing beyond it. Both are fair descriptions.
Well, okay. I mean, for whatever reason, the Baal Sulam chose this way here. They call Moshe Zerapin and didn't.
Yeah, not everybody's as insistent about the mutual exclusivity of these frameworks. I like it to end up very neat and tidy. It's but not everybody shares that.
Yeah,
That's
but
okay.
look, if you're starting to mix and match, you can put together anything you want. The Baal Sulam is explaining it a certain way. And so let's maybe we go further. We stop here for tonight. We're a little over, but
Oh, we're over. Yeah, we should stop here. But this will be a lot of fun. Maybe we are going to say near Miskvura. We'll see.
leave it on a cliffhanger.